Now let's talk about the biggest aspect of business, black, white, blue, anything, customer service.
Big.
Something that I have seen or heard time and time again from people that have gone to black owned businesses is the lack of customer service they receive or experience. Has that been the case for you by going to several black owned businesses, or is that a myth? Tell me what you think about experiencing entrepreneurship from a black person being the customer. How's customer service?
To be honest with you, I think it's blown out of proportion. Yes, it happens. I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, but it happens everywhere, right? Amongst any kind of store. What happens is when it's so first answer to your question, I think it's blown out of proportion. I typically see great like customer service. I'm treated well. We have in harmony. We both want to help each other. Like there's a good communication, good customer and owner relationship. That's what I typically see. Now every now and then there is a situation where it's not ideal, and there is an issue with customer service, as with any type of business, correct? And what happens is it gets blown out of proportion.
Sure.
It gets blown out of proportion. We are so quick to tear each other down. We really still have this kind of like, I don't know, what is it? It's like the slave mentality, but we're really quick to tear each other down after that. And we get on social media, we get on Black Riverside County, we get on Yelp or whatever, and here we are
Quick to tear them down.
attacking each other down. But we're so quiet about, again, those Korean hair stores that were treated bad for years, the restaurant that we went to that treated us poorly. We're kind of quiet about that, but we're quick to jump when it's
But you
our
know what's
own.
funny? In terms of the beauty spot stores, we're actually, in my opinion, we're not quiet about it. We know that they follow us. We know that we don't.
But we
get good
keep
customer-
going
We
back.
keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
We keep
that's
giving
true.
them our money.
Yep.
However, with a black store, you go one time and you deal with somebody that had an attitude that day because maybe she had an awful day, and instead of you just saying, "What's wrong, sis? You all right? You look. Let's talk." Instead of you doing that, you're upset and you never go to that place again.
Right.
We are so forgiving to people that have condemned us, that hurt us, that don't invest back into the communities
That's
in which
it.
take their money.
That's
I go
it.
in those beauty supply stores and I'm like, where is April and Randolph Elementary or Bastion Elementary, or not to just call out names, but where are you guys putting the money back into the community that's helping you eat?
Exactly.
However, one bad encounter at a black owned business and I'm never going there again.
Yep. That's true. That's true.
So I brought that up to not only challenge ourselves, but to challenge the listeners. Give black-owned businesses another chance, and don't clump all of them together. No. Have there been black-owned businesses where it was terrible, the food was cold, or I didn't have a good experience? Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to shop black. I'm still shopping black. I'm black.
Yes.
Still shopping black. You know.
Okay, so you guys obviously are enjoying fatherhood. That's what I hear. Just tell me more about what the process was becoming a father. Like, has your perspective on black girls changed as now you're a father to a black girl? Has it enhanced? Are you overprotective? Like, how do you feel now that you're a dad compared to before you were a dad?
That's really crazy because I'm a teacher, right? So when I started teaching, I taught all boys. So I was just used to teaching boys. When I found out I was having a baby, a girl at that, right, I kind of was like, oh, man.
What? Your demons coming to get you? What? Oh man,
See,
what
look,
all men about? Tell me.
look, now I got
Same
something
here.
about that too.
Same
Something
here.
about that too.
It wasn't even
I
about
really
that.
don't think it's about. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's about the demons. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I
Do
really
tell.
feel like God gives men daughters as a blessing.
Right.
You feel me? Because women truly are here to run everything that we do. So if we have a daughter, it's an opportunity to really put your imprint on the world through your daughter.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
What type of world is it for black girls? Like, what is the world like for black girls? How does the world receive us? How do you guys receive us compared to your own daughter?
Well, the way I look at it is, and I think studies have shown, I don't have any stats, but the world looks at black girls as women faster than they
Of
look
course.
at white girls as women.
Of course.
You're not supposed to. You're gonna be loud, bossy, rude. You're gonna grow up and be on welfare, have 4 kids, about 6 baby daddies. You
Right, right,
know,
right.
you're just gonna abuse the system. You're not gonna, be high achievers or anything. Which that was never my view of black women because my mother, my grandmothers, my aunts, and the village I was around growing up. All the women in my life are accomplished, successful, high achieving, good, not good, exceptional women. My sisters, my cousins, everybody. So
Right.
that was always, my
So you
viewpoint.
didn't really play into what the world had to say.
No,
or
because
not.
that's the media, and
Right.
that's it's sensationalized. It's you
The
see a
truth.
black woman on TV, she on welfare.
Right.
They're not gonna show Mae Jemison, the
Right.
astronaut.
Right.
So
Okay, what about you?
Yeah,
right
I
now?
think things definitely have progressed throughout time, right? I mean, there was a time.
have they?
Where we, definitely. Right?
Okay.
I truly believe so. Even if it's in small increments,
Yeah.
progression is progress, right?
Okay.
But I feel like there was a time where those derogatory images that you're talking about were the only thing you
Right.
seen, right? But now, because of technology and people being able to communicate and social media, right?
Yep.
You get kind of both sides of the coin. You get still the outlandish stuff, which we have been forced to hold this stereotype, and some of us still do it. Then you have people like Stacey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got
Thanks.
people like
Yeah.
Michelle Obama. You got people that's actually doing stuff that they can actually see and not hear about.
yeah.
So I'm gonna push back on that, right? So
Okay.
girls can see those things, right? But are those exceptional women considered desirable? Because when you're growing up as a girl, you're growing up through school, even in college, even me now, as a 32-year-old woman, we desire to be desirable to men that we want to court us or to women that we want to court us. So how does that play into effect? We see these exceptional role models. We see the Michelles and the Mae Jemisons, yet we don't see all the men going after those women. We see what the men go after. So since they're going after this certain type of woman, we sometimes strive to be more desirable. So
I mean, one of
Okay, so what do you have to say to some of our viewers that have been impacted by the criminal justice system who have absolutely no faith in the system, right? Because the last time we had someone running for judge on, we had a guy commenting, asking these questions as if he didn't know how to navigate the process. But there are probably some other listeners that are still on the fence about voting because they think it's pointless, right? So to those people that just don't have faith in the criminal justice system, what do you have to say to them?
I'm sorry. Your perspective is valid. This system has done so many of you and us wrong that I do not blame you for not having faith in it. And we have a long way to go. So the best that I can offer you is that when somebody comes into my court, and it doesn't have to be you, it could be someone that you love or someone that you don't love or know, but it could be us, right? Like that's what we learn as defense lawyers. This could be us. What
Right.
system do we want this to be if it is us?
Right.
But too many people haven't had it close enough to home to really care and make it what we deserve for it to be, like if it's our child or our relative. So what process needs to be in place for you to have more confidence in it? And
So like, what I've learned is that like sometimes as a black woman, I feel guilty not seeking a relationship. And I guess it's because of pressures maybe my aunts, family members have put on me, like, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? Come on now. So I found that some women are actually happy, not even seeking that for that time, but due to other stressors, it makes them unhappy because they're not living up to other people's standards like that.
Right, and that's another thing. Like families transfer mentalities. So you've seen this on all of the, Dr. Phil and stuff, Diana Von Zan, all those kind of situations where family mentality, whether it's violence or verbal abuse or things get passed down until it stops. So that's a cycle too. That may be a faulty mentality because I know a lot of women who. And that's why most of my, like when I do my show, some guys come on, but a lot of women come on too because you're under a different pressure when it comes to relationships. So like you can be single and be cool with it, but once you go home into the family atmosphere, everybody's asking you the same question. And my grandma asked me too, but that ain't enough. I'm not comparing that. I would never compare that to what you guys go through. So I make it a distinct point to help. You know what I'm saying? Just women sort of empowered, like feel empowered with their own mentality, even if it breaks from the norm of even their own family. Because a lot of women have high allegiance with family, and that's a good thing. But then you can't be afraid to be the black sheep sometimes.
It's hard,
you know what I mean?
though.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's hard. I feel like the black sheep sometimes. The only one that moved away, the only one that's like not super pressed to be married or have kids right now, this second. I was told I was depriving my mom. I was depriving her.
I saw a post that said the black sheep soon becomes the goat.
Hey!
So take that as you will. Relationships and people you attract, you find out what your baggage points are, what your fears are, etc.
The way you were connecting some of the stuff in the book, I was like, huh, that's true. Yeah, I was a little triggered reading it. I'm not gonna lie, with some stuff. You said if you're already getting his car out of the tow lot after the second week, then you need to evaluate. I'm like, I thought I was just being nice. Damn, Marcus just read me in this book. So yeah,
And then,
ladies,
I gotta tell you,
everybody, kids, read it. We'll be purchasing, and we will definitely have some girl talk gear for you coming.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so if there was one thing that you could tell, not just black women, but black girls about meditation and being in tune with yourself in yoga, what would it be? Like if you just had a megaphone that spanned all black girls and women, what would you say to them?
It's okay to love yourself.
Why that? It's okay. It's okay.
Ooh. Throughout
I'm not
my
giving permission to do that. Okay.
man, it's just really, really challenging. The experiences that we have. Like I used to do hair before I was a yoga teacher, and I used to do faux locks and braids. And pretty much every black woman that sat in my chair would be like, "Oh Lord, when I get back to work, I gotta answer these questions. People are gonna be all up in my head. How long did that take?" Oh my God, that's fine. Even naturals, like me walking around now, a lot of black women are like, "I wish I could wear my hair like that to work." The way that things are set up to remind us that we are not okay the way that we are teaches you that it's not okay to love yourself. And meditation and yoga is just for you.
Negotiables. In terms of your singleness, right? Because you've waited to the point where you got your own house, you got your own car, you got your own business, you got your own job. You don't have kids, but you're helping kids, right? You got your own style. You're your own woman, right? So now that you're in this phase where you're ready to settle down, you're ready to get married, what are your things where it's like, you have to have at least this? Like, if you have this, I'm not dating you. Do you have some things that'll just automatically knock a man out of the running? And I see it. Yeah, I did lighten up, right? So give these dudes the keys, right? Like, what are your things where it's like, if you got this, it ain't gonna work.
You have to have a job.
You hear that?
I'm sorry, you can flip burgers, but you have to have a job.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm with the flipping burgers.
Yeah, like you
know
have to do something. Like I wake up. Well, when life was normal, I used to wake up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and not get home until 8 p.m.
Yeah.
If I'm out here 14 hours busting my behind, like you need to have a job.
Amen.
I
hear that.
You need to have a form of transportation, your own place, like.
For sure.
Those are non-negotiables. If you're not respectful, if you're not complimenting towards women, then, that's a non-negotiable.
So let's talk about respectful, though, right? Because we know about the representatives, all right? And that's everybody. People will bring their representative of what they think you want to hear, what you want to see, but over time it's like, oh, this is how you are? So it's like, how can you really know when a guy is, like, respectful? Is it based on how he treats you? Or would you have to judge it based on how he's treating other women or other people? Like, how can you really gauge a man's respect?
I think it's more on how he treats other people, because he's going to come to you with his best foot. Like, most times when you meet a person initially, they're sending their representative. So they're not showing them their true selves until, like, 3-6 months in, just pay attention to how he treats women in his life that are close to him, his mother, his daughter, his sister, his aunt, his cousin, you know, and how he like talks about his past experiences. Like, I don't like men that bash their exes.
Me
you know,
either. Or baby mama.
Yeah, that's like
you
a
talking bad
turn
about
off.
your baby mama, and like
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, this is the woman that brought your human being into the world.
That's
you know,
right.
like,
That's
you know,
right. You can't be
you
talking bad
bashing
about baby
her.
mom, too.
Right. So, yeah, men that have women issues, normally that's a telltale sign, or, you know, that talk not so good about the close women in their lives.
So why are you not gonna shoot your shot, Jamila?
I don't think I'm bold enough to do that. Like, I
But
mean,
you know
some
that the
women
good guys
are.
sometimes don't feel comfortable enough because they see you and they're like, damn, she'll never give me a chance. You gotta be the one to
Yeah.
say yes, I will. So why not?
Yeah, I don't think I'm bold enough. I don't think I have the boldness and the
All right, but
confidence
let's
to
talk
do
about that. Shooting your shot can be in person. It could be in a DM. What are some other ways you can shoot your shot though?
I mean, what, like attacks?
Double taps, you know what I'm
I
saying?
guess if you know someone that person knows that you're attracted to, you can kind of mention it to the
Would you
friend.
do that?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, possibly. But like, just straight out coming to a man and telling him I'm interested, or I think you're cute, or I'm just not bold enough to do that.
Look, I'm holding her to the wire, y'all, but me either. Me either. I was challenged, and I'm not even gonna say no names, all right? Because I don't want the person to be listening to be like, she's talking about me. But I was challenged to shoot my shot, and it went terribly. And that's only like one person, right? But yeah, I don't have the confidence to do that either. Well, I don't even know if it's confidence. I just want the guy to do it. Like, I'm pretty confident, but I'd rather the guy do it. It could be that a lot of my norms are still old school, and I just feel like the man should approach. But yeah, I don't want to do it either. So if y'all guys are listening, we have a strong feeling that a lot of girls feel the same way. So you're my kindred spirit right now, because you're saying a lot of things that made me want to start Girl Talk You. I would hear a lot of older women talk about younger women and how they didn't like what they saw, how they didn't like what they heard. And I'm like, well, how are you going to change it if you don't actually talk to these girls or these teenagers to inform them of how it should be going? And in terms of the girls and women we've interacted with, they're beautiful and they're smart and they're funny, but a lot of them just lack confidence. And I know, to get to your point, regardless of, you know, your mom and how she paved the way for you, you had to have your own sense of self, and you had to have a lot of self-confidence to be able to do this. Even now, you're taking the next step, right? And that's one thing that saddens me about a lot of the girls I've interacted with. They just lack this confidence. What can we do for them? Like, what can we say to them to change that?
You know, so I have two daughters and a son, and they're young. I have an 11-year-old, a 6-year-old daughter, and then a 4-year-old son. And my goodness, you know, kids, they teach you way more than we teach them as far as life and how to be a good person, you know. And one thing I think that is crucial is that we have to get to them as soon as possible, because what they need is positive reinforcement, that they are beautiful, that they are smart, that they are worthy, that they are of value. And that's how I think it gets instilled, you know, and hopefully their parents, you know, are doing that, or their moms. And my mom was a single mom, and, you know, you hope that they have that at home. But, you know, frankly, you know, a lot of people of color, they're working 2-3 jobs. I mean, and they don't, and I'm not saying that they're not good parents or that, you know, but it definitely puts a strain, you know, on your abilities to, you know, I mean, you're worried about getting food on the table and keeping clothes on someone's back and putting a roof over someone's head. And I mean, you know, hopefully you don't work, you know, a night shift, or you don't, you know, that you can spend that time with your kids. And I mean, it's hard for me too. And I work a day job, and, you know, I try to spend time with my kids, but yeah, I think we have to, it's literally just showing them, and also giving them opportunities and praising them when they achieve, right?
Right.
And so I think it's all of that.